coloring, and I want to focus on that white coloring. So, why do you think he is white and silver? What do you think?
So when he's white on the bottom, so if anything's looking up at him, his feathers on the bottom are white to match the sky and the sun, and then the top is to match the ground.
To match the ground.
If he's being looked down upon.
Exactly. Why do you think he is?
It has a beak.
It has a beak. He does have a beak. That's to rip apart his food. Yeah. Where do we think he might live? Where do you think he might live?
In a tree.
In a tree? What's the tree covered in?
Snow.
Thank you. Yeah, snow. So this white coloration, not only to blend in when looking up at the sky and down with the cliffs or the rocks or the dirt, but also to blend in with this environment, which is very snowy. And that is where they live. Have we heard that birds migrate south for the winter? Have we considered that birds migrate south to Oregon for the winter? They do, and this is one of those birds. Falcons spend a majority of their life up in the Arctic tundra, the northern part of Alaska, northern Canada, and the northwestern territories. But they winter here. They are here November and December through April. Do you have a question?
Do they live in the mountains?
Where?
In the mountains?
In the mountains? Well, they live along cliff sides, but I don't think there's too many mountains where they live. Maybe a few. Yep.
Is this as far south as they go?
This is typically as far south as they go. So they come down here on a warmer winter is when you're more likely to see them. So this year I would expect to see them, this kind of warmer, wetter winter. And you're more likely to see a light gray and dark gray version of a gyrfalcon. They're polymorphic. They come in different colors. But this color here really blends in with his environment, which is the Arctic tundra. So I want to answer the question of why they come to the high desert. Why would they come here? And to answer that question, we have to find similarities between the Arctic tundra and the high desert. So does anything come to mind when you hear the Arctic tundra? What comes to mind? What's the first
Like
thing?
cold.
Cold, yeah. Cold, snowy, harsh, right? So then in the winter in the high desert, is it cold and snowy?
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely is. Not right now, obviously, but I expect January, February to be pretty harsh. So yeah, definitely cold and snowy here. All right, anything else come to mind? What else come to mind when you think of the Arctic tundra?
Well, I think that do they live in like really, really cold places or like warm, cold places?
It's really cold places. Really cold. Are there a lot of trees in the Arctic tundra?
No.
No,
It's a
there's
tundra.
not. It's past the boreal forest. That tree line in Canada stops. And then it is grassland, prairie land, brushland, shrubland, open land. Here in the high desert, do we have a lot of open land, ag land, shrubland, sagebrush steppe, prairie? We sure do. We sure do have a lot of open land. And the last one's a bit difficult, but it's the critters. What he eats is very similar in the tundra and the high desert. Up in the tundra, what they hunt, typically going to be around ponds and lakes, going for ducks and other waterfowl, going for ptarmigan, which is a medium-sized grouse-like bird, snowshoe hare, quick elusive rabbit, Arctic ground squirrel as well. So then here in the high desert, do we have rabbits?
Yes.
Do we have ducks?
Yes.
Do we have grouse?
Yes.
Yeah.
And do we have ground squirrels and chipmunks?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we sure do. We have all of their food. So they're in search of an environment that fits their needs, and the high desert luckily fits that perfectly. It's cold, it's open land, and there's food for them. So we're very fortunate that these guys come and visit us every winter. Now I want to focus on how he catches those prey items. Those ducks are flying away pretty quick. Those rabbits are running away very quick. Those ptarmigan